Hey gang. Okay, now they all want to get in the video. Hey, she's doing a video. In the interest of getting back to one of my missions was to try to help people rather than lecture to them about all the bad things they're doing. I wanted to talk about some of the things that helped me get through my life without losing my sanity up to this point. I mean, some would argue that I absolutely have lost my sanity at this point, but up to this point, I haven't lost my sanity. Coping mechanisms, or healthy coping mechanisms. There are good coping mechanisms and there are bad coping mechanisms. And coping mechanisms for someone like me are little things that I can do to alleviate the dysphoria, the gender dysphoria, or the anxiety, or the depression. Now, my wife noticed it more than I did over the years, but the times that I did, long periods of times in between going out and socializing as presenting as female, weighed heavily on me and caused a lot of problems. And I know for some of us, it actually causes physical trauma. Can result in ulcers or whatever anxiety can do to you inside. Not being able to express yourself can do the same thing, and it'll sneak up on you and you don't even know it. And so, when I was conscious of it, I knew what I wanted to do, and I kind of thought it would be cool if I could, someday be a girl, but I still didn't want to believe I was transgender. I would do things to alleviate the sadness. And one of the first ones, I have a laundry list of coping mechanisms. And, I'm sure a lot of you guys have done the same thing, but maybe some of you haven't. Maybe I know I've met trans people who never thought they were transgender, never thought that they were really a woman inside and they were not living their truth. Realized it one day, went and got some therapy, brought it to the surface, examined it, and have transitioned to living as women, have transitioned into womanhood, and going 45 or 50 years of their life without even really thinking much about it, keeping it deep down suppressed. Now, I don't understand that, but I've seen it happen and I've seen these people flourish, so I know it's a thing. Okay, but some of us kind of know something's going on, and it would be nice if we had some coping mechanisms maybe to let it go. Or maybe you've just finally decided you're going to come out, but your wife's got a problem with it, and of course she doesn't want to see you cross-dressed, and so it's hard to do a lot often. So maybe you need some coping mechanisms to help you get through the dry times, if you will. One of the things that I used to do was what I call underdressing, where I would wear underwear, not a bra, because I didn't want anything to show through my shirt. But I started wearing female underwear, and it wasn't like sexy thong stuff or anything like that. It was just simple jockey cotton female underwear, and it made my brain feel a little bit better. Like, okay, I'm wearing girls' clothes. Maybe sometimes I'd wear girls' socks underneath my shoes when I knew nobody was going to see them. Things like that to help alleviate the pressure. The next thing I started doing, probably 25 years ago, was shaving my body hair, shaving all my body hair off, and that brought about some concerns that people are going to see a man and he's not going to have any body hair. So I wore a lot more long sleeve shirts, and in the summertime when I worked outside, I didn't. I wore short sleeve shirts, and I didn't, and I realized if you walk around in the summertime and you look at men wearing tank tops and shirts, that some men just don't have a lot of hair. I see a lot of men that don't even really have any hair on their legs, and I don't stop and ask them if they shave their legs. It's just not a thing. And where I thought that everybody would be worried about it and all these people would be staring at me for being hairless, no one's ever said a word. I've never caught anyone staring, and no one's ever said a word. You know, so it's just not a thing. Later, about when I was, have to be 18 years ago, I got my ears pierced. And it was a style, you know, it was back then for biker guys to have pierced ears. It was no big deal, and I got the heavy gauge rings in them. But when I wanted to go out as a girl, the heavy gauge rings came out, and I put girl earrings in them. That worked really good, and my coworkers just thought that I was one crazy son of a bitch that didn't mind the pain and wanted to freak people out. So, you know, I didn't out myself to anyone. And you know what? If somebody thought right away, oh, look, he's got no body hair and now he's wearing earrings, he must be trans, they didn't care about it enough to say anything. So it really doesn't matter. You know, what other people think of us is really none of our business. You know, unless you're not allowed to do that at your job or things like that. You have a dress code or whatever. You know, your wife might get upset if you pierced your ears, but that my wife got a little bit uneasy about it, but then she let me do it. She had to think about it for a while. She had to process it, and then she let me do it. I got it done. And in my construction line of work, there are a lot of guys with pierced earrings. You know, I went a little overboard. I got 3 piercings in each ear lobe and 3 in my cartilage up here. But, you know, in for a penny, in for a pound, I guess. Growing my hair long. I always wanted to have long hair. When I was a little boy in the 60s and 70s, I would fight my mom when she made me go get a haircut. I would fight. I don't want a haircut. I want long hair. And now, you know, as an adult, I've grown my hair long, and I've cut it short again and then grown it back out long. But people generally tend to think of me as the guy with long hair. You know, it looks pretty good still. My hairline isn't that bad. It's bad if I try to just present as female with it, but you know, for a guy, it's not that bad. I actually have people tell me that I look better with long hair than I did with short hair. So it's not a big deal, but it helps. It helps, you know. Support groups are another great coping mechanism. If you can find a support group in your area, a trans support group, a gender queer support group, or something like that, go and maybe you can make some friends, and you'll have somebody to talk to, a real live person, not this internet stuff. You don't know who you're really talking to there. My ultimate coping mechanism has been a hormonal replacement therapy, right? Yeah. Well, I started it long before we got this guy. He's 13 months old. We started that 6 years ago, and it's been a great coping mechanism. It's been a really good coping mechanism. I still get dysphoria. I still get envious of women sometimes, but I'm a lot better, a lot calmer, and a lot less anxious, and I have a lot more fun, I think, now due to the chemical balance in my brain from the hormones. It's my ultimate coping mechanism, unless I can come up with something else. I don't think I need surgery, you know, but in effect, surgeries are treatment for my condition. They literally are, which is why some insurance companies pay for them. But that's taking it that's becoming a 1%er, if you will. For people that are trying to make it work in their marriage, for people that are trying to keep their wife from leaving them, or people who are trying to not out themselves yet, all of these coping mechanisms would work. In fact, you know, long hair, pierced ears, perfume on a paracord bracelet. I used to put a little bit of perfume on a paracord bracelet, and I could smell it when I was at work, and it just kind of made me feel girly. Maybe somebody else got a whiff of it every once in a while, but nobody really knew what was going on. It was just right here on my wrist on a paracord. And I could, if anybody were going to say anything, I could always take it off and leave it in the car. So we got underdressing, shaving body hair, perfume on a paracord bracelet, ear piercing, and growing my hair long. And to the best of my knowledge, no one ever accused me of being transgender, even with all that stuff going on. It doesn't give away the farm. All of these, none of these coping mechanisms, even combined, are not going to give you away. Okay, if that's what you're concerned about. So, if you haven't tried any of them, see if you can make it work. And I wish you all the best of luck. Once you start letting that girl out of the box, yeah, you got to look out, because she's going to want to take over. And if you could keep her at bay until the time is right with some of these coping mechanisms, I think that would be a really nice thing for you. Love and peace to all, and let's just try to accept one another for who they are.